Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea Mason, and today I'll be covering Module 14, the chapter about self-authorship. So the first question this week was to please provide a thorough explanation of how you have experienced self-authorship. So the way that I have experienced self-authorship, I think to my religious experience. Growing up, I was in the church a lot because of how my parents raised me, and I never really was able to determine my own faith and religion for myself. A lot of what I did in my church, how I got involved in the choir and in other ministries, was based on how my parents raised me and what they kind of thought was right and what we thought we should do as faithful Christians, but it was not something that I necessarily identified with for myself. But as I came into age and grew, I was able to identify why religion and faith and spirituality was important for me. And so going to church now has a different meaning for me than how it was when I was younger. Going into the second question for this week, which asks us to list and briefly explain Marcia Baxter Magola's 4 phases in the journey of self-authorship. Well, the first phase is following formulas, which follows the plans laid out for us, just based on outside parties and what they think we should be doing. And we are looking for approval in this stage. And so when I think back to my childhood and how my parents kind of brought me up in the church and how church was important to me because of my parents, that kind of describes phase 1 and how it's following formulas. The second phase, which is crossroads, kind of looks into the internal struggle of how we look at the decisions that we make and how they might kind of conflict with each other. And so as I was growing, I had an internal battle with myself with religion and what it meant to me and why I was really pursuing religion and faith. And I was very confused, and I really didn't know where to turn to. So that was my crossroads phase. For phase 3, that is becoming the authors of one's life. And that is when you start to identify that conflict and defend your own beliefs. So at that point, I was able to really look at what I was doing as far as attending church and becoming strong in my faith, and really be able to defend that and defend the fact that it was something that I chose to do rather than something that I just grew up in and something that my parents chose for me. The fourth phase is the internal foundation, which involves us being grounded in a sense of who we are and our belief systems and the relationships that we have formed at that time. And it has also a meaning of peace and contentment in our beliefs. And so that is the phase that I am with now. I'm just in my faith and religion and spirituality. I'm very grounded in the fact that I've chosen religion for myself, and that, yes, it is something that I was brought into by my parents and something that I grew up with, but it's something that I've chosen for myself and something that I've pursued for myself, and it's something that I can really defend if I were put on the spot about it. So I trust my decision about that. And so it was really cool this week to read about this theory and kind of apply it to my own life. And I'm really excited to read everyone else's posts and comment on everyone else's stories of self-authorship. Well, thank you, and I look forward to responding on the discussion board this week. Thank you.